Welcome everyone, it's Brandon Schaefer here, and thank you for joining me. Here's a little, not really a still life setup, but just my still life area where I set up, and I move things around and get them into a nice composition. But what I want to talk about here is applying these color charts. But I want to point out some cool things here that are really neat that I found with, I bought these different colored sheets, and I have a few other colors. Just to start mixing up the colors that I use and really trying some different things. But look at the shadows back here. The shadows that are closer to this sheet back here, which is pretty much a viridian color, kind of a teal blue. But if you really look at these shadows, they're really picking up that color. So that color is reflecting down onto the shadows, which is very cool. Not cool in temperature, but very neat. And it also reflects onto the sheet and kind of grays it out the closer you get to it. It's a very subtle thing. As you can notice, this shadow up in the front barely has any viridian in it at all compared to this shadow back here. So the closer you get to that, that's just the effects of reflected light and such. And also you can see right in front of the lemons, in the light areas, the lemons reflect down onto the sheet, creating this nice, really warm orange golden tone. So that's really cool. Really cool. I'm really enjoying the effects I get with these different colored sheets, and hopefully I'm going to try out some other ones here shortly. But what I want to get into now is what I do when I'm painting a still life like this. So I'm looking at the still life, and I have my color charts here, which I made a video on these just a few weeks ago. But I hold up, there's about 7 different charts because I use 7 different colors, or at least a range of those colors. So what I do is I hold these up, and this is the yellow chart, as you can see here, and the other colors mixed with yellow. So I hold these up and I say, do any of these tones match what I'm looking at? And you can see here the yellows, the lemons, definitely, probably some of the sheet there. You're getting close in here. So I'm definitely going to use this chart, definitely going to use yellow. So then I move on to the next. Do you see any of these tones in there? Personally, I do not. So I know I'm probably not going to use red. That's cadmium red. So I'm probably not going to use that. Even though my main color palette is red, yellow, and blue, I'm not going to use red for this painting because it's just not needed. Here's ultramarine blue. Do any of these tones? Not really. Maybe, those are too blue, and that's too green, so it's not getting that background color. But maybe I'll use ultramarine. It depends on the other charts. Probably viridian I'm going to use for this backdrop, but I'm going to wait and see. Transparent oxide red, or red iron oxide. Probably in the shadow color here underneath, this warm golden. You're getting into this area here, and maybe for the sheet, some parts of the sheet are going to be this tone. Some of the shadows over here. These are the blues mixed with transparent oxide red. So I'm probably going to use that. So right now my palette is yellow, transparent oxide red. This is cobalt blue, pretty similar to ultramarine, but it's a little lighter in value, and just gives you a different range of blues and purples. So are these going to be used? I'm not seeing any of those. Maybe some of these are close to the shadow colors or the backdrop, but I'm going to wait to get to the viridian, because viridian really matches the backdrop, as you can see here. Just plain viridian is this backdrop color. Trying to get that in the right light. So I'm going to use Viridian instead of blue. I get a lot of different ranges from Viridian of greens, blues, grays. These are a lot more, it's a lot more gray, as you can see here. So I'm probably going to use Viridian. And you also want to take note of what mixture here, because you may end up using red. If Viridian mixed with red creates a certain color. But this is Viridian Transparent Oxide Red. So Viridian Transparent Oxide Red and yellow so far are going to paint this painting. And the last one is alizarin. Pretty close to red, the cadmium red, but a lot darker, a lot cooler. And I do not see any of those tones here. These are mostly reds and purples. I don't see any of those tones in this. So this ends up being the harmony of the painting. So you have the yellow chart, the transparent oxide red chart, and the Viridian chart. And there's only a few tones within these charts that I'm going to be needing. So now, this is my palette. This is the harmony for this painting. So that's how you apply these charts. You just see what tones and what values take note, and that's what you mix up and create this painting, and it ends up creating its own harmony. Let me show you real quick the painting that I created from this color palette, this harmony. So there's the painting there. Let me set this on the floor so I can get a better view of it for you guys. So there's the painting. And it's a different palette than I normally use. So it was yellow, which I normally use, transparent oxide red, which you could say was my red color, and Viridian, which you could say is my blue color. Here's another painting that I did with the same palette, and I left out the Viridian backdrop, but I still use the exact same colors because Viridian and transparent oxide red give me a nice neutral, and a little bit of the yellow mixed in give you a nice neutral for these shadows, and some of the dark areas here or cooler areas were Viridian. So it's a very subtle thing, but using the color charts can be a big help. So anyway, I thank you guys for watching. And you know, this was the first painting I did, so it was kind of experimental. It's not my favorite painting. I did notice that it's very high key. I think that's what I don't like about it. Or that's what I didn't like about it at the beginning, because all my previous paintings have been high contrast, really dark backdrop with light coming in. And this one is overall, it's just lit up completely with a few shadow tones. So it's a very high key, and I just wasn't used to that. And also I was experimenting with the colors. But I think the other painting I did, you know, that was more like this, I really honed in, and I was already warmed up with using that palette and what color mixtures I would be able to get. So anyway, hope this video helped you guys out. And if you haven't mixed up your color palette, color charts, you know, just pick like 4 or 5 colors that you use all the time, and mix up these color charts and see what range of colors you're able to get. And next time you go to do a painting, whether it's outside or a still life, hold the charts up and see which charts match the scene, and then that'll give you the colors you need to mix and really break it down and simplify it for you. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourself. Peace.